All right, welcome back to the channel again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Now, look, I didn't even know that you could do this. Uh, this had tripped me out when I saw the title. We know because, like, during this whole trial, it was some very weird things going on with the jury. All right, with a few of them, but they had alternates. And here you have alternate juror in Sean Diddy Combs' trial speaks out about the verdict. I mean, the guy's sitting here I know this ain't no AI or nothing. I'm just like, I didn't even think they would be showing their faces. All right, we're going to check this out. I just want to see what he has to say and where his mind was. Was he with the decision or was he against it? So we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
An alternate juror in the Sean P. Diddy trial is speaking out today. In an exclusive interview with CNN, George, as he wants to be known, was asked if he agreed with the verdict.
And looking back at the
Wait, he said George as he wants to be known, so he's not using his real name, but his face is here. That's very odd and strange to me. Like, people who know you, I don't know. That's weird. Let me bring it back in. Sorry.
In an exclusive interview with CNN, George, as he wants to be known, was asked if he agreed with the verdict.
and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
He was also asked about the jury being shown shocking videotape of the so-called freak-offs that featured Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura.
It didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil.
Combs' legal team says they are delighted at the split.
Okay, so he would have agreed. We know that it was someone who couldn't make a decision and they had to go deliberate, but eventually they got that person to agree with them. Again, I mean, he was found not guilty of the RICO and the other stuff, but he's still guilty on the other counts. You know, they were showing these tapes, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just a weird, strange feeling, man, with this jury, especially them is coming out speaking out like this, alternate. I said it before. There's nothing wrong with grown people doing grown people stuff, no matter how freaky they want to get, as long as it's consensual. I'm just wondering how much of a factor did they take in when they would say, like, I was doing this to please him, you know, because in a one of those type of relationships where there's domestic stuff going on, and you're afraid to leave because of the repercussions, you're afraid to say no because of the repercussions, you're gonna do stuff and probably do it to the max to please this person, you know. So I don't know, man. Again, we're on the outside looking in. All we could do is speculate, but it just something just still don't feel right.
Verdict, which acquitted Combs of the most serious charges of racketeering, guilty of two lesser charges of transportation for purposes.
A wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
Now the big question, can Combs ever bounce back after all that damaging testimony? Rob Shooter is his former publicist.
Oh,
Do you think he'll attempt to come back?
Oh, Puffy's coming back 100%. He's certainly going to try and do this. I know him really well. This is not a guy who takes his toys and goes away. He doesn't exit the playground gracefully.
You say he'll make a comeback, but the question is, should he?
This is a big question, and a question that I think we all have to grapple with. Can we separate the art from the artist? I can't. If you're a bad person,
Man, I'm so glad he said that. I am so glad he said that. And I talk about that all the time. There's a lot of music that I've reacted to, and then I would see videos. I told you guys I watched a video where they talked about baby groupies. You know what I mean? Like young girls that were groupies. And you had a lot of these rock stars who knew how old they were, and they were still doing things with them. To me, you can be the greatest artist in the world, but that speaks to your character and your personality, you know. So my whole thing is that for me, I I can't I can't separate the artist from the art, especially uh you know people like when you look at like R. Kelly and probably a lot of music that he was singing. If you go to the lyrics, you got to go double back and be like, wait a minute, was he talking about this? A lot of it, they hide it in plain sight. In plain sight. So a lot of times it's right in our face, but I said before, we're dancing, too busy dancing and having a good time to really grasp what they're talking about. So I'm glad as his publicist that he said that, you know, and but at the same time he said he's speaking on Diddy because of his personality, saying Diddy isn't just going to take his toys and leave. He's not going to exit the playground quietly or whatever. And I said that. I said, is Diddy going to be like, whew, I got lucky and I'm going to ride off into the sunset, or is he going to try to come after people? So we'll have to see. But shout out to this publicist for saying that, because yeah, I totally agree. Comment below. Can you guys separate the art from the artist? Let's see how many people comment on that.
this is a big question, and a question that I think we all have to grapple with. Can we separate the art from the artist? I can't. If you're a bad person, I don't want to buy your music. I don't care how good it is.
Former Sean Combs protege Aubrey O'Day agrees there's no way he will ever sail into the sunset once he's released from jail.
He'll have a single out within the next year, and he'll be on the top of the charts probably.
Okay. I said this before. I'm very, very interested to know if this man is going to throw a party. And I just want to see how many people are actually going to show up. That is going to speak volumes to this industry, you know. And clearly people don't know how to put themselves in other people's shoes. Because again, you want to say like, I bet you, it's like you want to say, I bet if this was their daughter, if Cassie was their daughter, they would be probably going to jail for trying to, do something to Diddy for what he did to her. But at the same time, some of these parents are allowing their kids to enter this industry, whether it's music, acting, you know what happened with all that Disney stuff. So I don't know. I feel like any of them would do anything for the right price. Handing over their child to the industry is something that they've been doing for years. So we'll see. We'll see how many people are going to separate the art from the artist, because after that Cassie video in the hotel, you would think nobody would want to be next to this man. But we'll see. Again, man, I feel like we all can agree something was very fishy with this jury. I know I'm doing a lot of videos on this, but I'm just trying, as more news come out, I just want to hear it, man. I just want to know what people have to say about this. What they say, the streets are talking. Now, I ain't saying I wanted him to be guilty, but I do feel like people need to pay for their crimes, you know, and this is where we're at. So, hey, appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming over. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.